Hi everyone, it's Alberto here, and in this video I'm finally doing something that I wanted to do for so long, and it's starting doing some of my videos in English too, as well as in Spanish. In this first video I'm translating my most successful video, and this video consists of tips to solve the Rubik's Cube in less than 1 minute. So I have a Patreon account, and if you like this video or you want me to do more videos in English, I've set up a goal that if we make it, I'll translate all my videos into English too. So I'll leave the link in the description, and now let's start with these tips to be able to solve the Rubik's Cube in less than 1 minute. First of all, I will say that these will be tips to use with the most common beginner's method. To solve the cube in under 1 minute, you don't need to learn any advanced methods. You just need to learn some tricks and some useful things to know, and that's all. First of all, I would recommend buying a speed cube, because if you can solve the cube in less than 1 minute, you probably have this old cube that you have to turn with your wrists, and if you see here, having a cube that you can turn with your fingers only and without much pressure is, it's the ideal thing to have. So after that, I'll start. So I'll go through the steps of the beginner's method, and I will give some tips for every step. So I would recommend also, if you are starting, to be color neutral. That is, this method starts by building a cross. I'll make the examples using the white cross, but I would recommend that you always start with the cross that it's easier, no matter the color. So this is difficult at the beginning, but if you get used to it at an early stage, then you will be grateful when you are way faster. So the thing with the cross, normally all the tutorials show how to do the cross on top, and so the first tip is to always do the cross on the bottom. Why on the bottom? Because if you do the cross on the bottom, you see like this, you have the solved pieces in a position that you can't see them, and all you see are the unsolved pieces that are the ones that you are going to solve in next steps. If you do the cross on top, you only see solved pieces that you don't need to see, because they are solved already and you don't need them for anything. So the first tip is to always build the cross on the bottom. So this can be a bit difficult on the beginning, but it's only a matter to get used to it. So more tips for the cross. Every cross, no matter how the cube is scrambled, can be solved in 8 moves or less. So one of the things we have to do when we are learning is, without turning the cube, just locate where the pieces are, where the pieces we want to solve are, and think how to solve them without turning the cube. So this way we can think of the optimal way to solve them, and always do so in less than 8 moves. Because if we start to solve pieces without having looked at them and without having thought anything, we will end up doing a lot more movements than one we need. So another tip is, when we have a scrambled cube, just look at the pieces we want to solve, think how to solve them, and only start solving them when we know how to solve them all. For example, in this case, I see the blue-white piece here that I know that with a move I can solve. Then I see that the green and white and red and white are easily solvable with one move too. And then I have here the orange and white, which goes here. So in this case, I would first turn this one, then put these two on their position, and last put this one. So this has been 6 moves, if I'm not mistaken. And well, this was a very easy cross, but as I said, we always have to think about the moves before doing them. So this serves 2 purposes. First of all, is being optimal when doing the cross, or almost optimal. And second one is, if you know how to solve the pieces, you can stop looking at them and start looking at the pieces that you will solve afterwards. So if I memorize how to do the cross, I can close my eyes. Well, you won't know I have them closed, but trust me, I am closing my eyes right now. I can close my eyes and solve the cross, okay? So what this serves the purpose that while I'm doing the cross, as I know how to do it without looking, I can look at other pieces. So for instance, in this case, I would put the red and white with the orange center to put this one down, as they are opposite. And then I would adjust the bottom layer and just put the green and white down, that will be here, and the blue and white down, that is already here. Okay, so while I know how to do this, so I don't have to look at the pieces when solving them, and I see this corner here that I will use for the next step without having finished the cross. So this is called look ahead, and it's the most important thing you need to do properly when solving the cube. Because to solve the cube fast, it's more important to not have pauses than to turn fast. Well, both things are important, but one, in my opinion, is more important than the other one. So, well, I go with the first layer now, but first let me finish this argument. So what you have to do is continuously been looking at the next pieces you want to solve. So as I saw this one here and I know how to solve it, so while I'm solving this one, I'll start looking at other ones, like for example this one here. Okay, so I could go directly into solving this one, then I see this one, so you get the idea. Now I saw this one. Okay, so the idea is to not stop, always be looking at the pieces you want to solve next and not what you are solving. And while this is really difficult at the beginning, it's the way to get fast. Okay, so one last example of the cross. Here is the white and blue opposite, so I can put the white and green opposite too, and then I can put the white and red opposite too. Okay, and while I'm adjusting the bottom layer, I'll just put this one down and finish the cross. As you see, the way to solve optimally the cross is to influence other pieces while you are solving. So while you solve a piece, you influence others, so they end up in a position better than where they were. So now let's go with the first layer. As we did with the cross, we are building the first layer in the bottom, and apart from look ahead, as I already showed you, one thing we want to do is to learn to put pieces on their place from multiple angles. So for example, I know how to put this piece here. Okay, this is very easy. I know how to put this piece here. Okay, this is very easy too. But to avoid rotations that will make us lose a lot of time, we have to learn how to put, for example, this piece down here. So normally what a beginner would do is turn the cube 2 times and then we have the easy case. Okay, but what we have to learn to do is to put the piece directly down here. In this case, it would be as simple as that. So you see the piece is in its position. This is weird to do at the beginning, but it's really easy once you get used to it. So normally I would push this piece from the back too. Okay, see here. Now I have this piece, which I can put on the back too. And now I have this piece here, which goes here, and I can put it that way. So for the first layer, the cross and the corners too, the most important thing is look ahead, do it on the bottom, and know how to put pieces from multiple angles. Well, now we move on to tips to do the second layer. The tips will be three, basically. One is look ahead, as always. Don't look at the pieces you are solving, but at the pieces you want to solve, and think how to solve them while you are solving previous pieces. Then learn how to put pieces into its position from different angles to avoid rotations as much as you can. And lastly, do it on the bottom. Well, it's not on the bottom, it's in the middle, but you get what I mean. You need to have all the solved pieces in the bottom layer. So for instance, in this case, I would see this piece that goes here. So normally how I teach to put this piece in is from here. Okay, you would do this algorithm. Okay, but now you have this piece that goes in the back. Instead of rotating 2 times and putting the piece here, we have to learn how to do it from the back. Well, it's really easy. You just have to mirror the algorithm we just performed. It's just a matter of thinking how to do it. Okay, now we could rotate and put this piece in. This is also the left mirror from the algorithm, and now we have this one. So as you see, to solve the second layer, we just used 2 rotations, when normally a beginner does a lot of rotations. So this will help us both to solve the cube faster and also to have, I think look ahead is easier if you avoid rotating that much, because if you are looking if you are rotating all the times, you lose track of what you are looking at or where the pieces were. So this is a really straightforward tips that are just well, the same as the first layer. So for the cross of the last layer, I don't have any advice. Just do it as fast as you can. But for how to put the middle edges, I have one advice. So what we will do in this case is, instead of just doing a zoom and see what shows up, we will look at the adjacent piece, okay? And we will see if those 2 colors are opposite or are adjacent. So if the 2 colors are opposite, like in this case, instead of doing the normal algorithm, we will do the mirror, the lefty mirror. So in this case, it would be like this. And you see that all the pieces are solved. If the pieces are adjacent colors, we will do the normal algorithm. And you see, like in this case, all are solved again in one algorithm. So with the beginner's method, without thinking, in the worst case you have to do 3 algorithms, because there is one case where there are opposite pieces and you have to first do a zoom so a piece matches, and then do another one, and if it's not solved, do another one. So worst case, now we will have to do 2 algorithms, and almost always with 1 algorithm only we will be solved. So this is not learning something new, because it's just doing the mirror, which is really easy, but we save 7 moves. So I think this is worth learning. Likewise, we will do the same with the corners. Okay, so for the corners, we look at one corner that is solved, and we normally do the algorithm, and if it doesn't match, we do it again until it matches. Well, what we will do now is search for a fixed corner, okay? And we look at this piece. If this piece has one matching color, in this case it has orange, we'll rotate and we'll do the mirror algorithm. Okay? So as this piece has one matching color, we rotate this way, and instead of doing the normal algorithm, we will do the mirror. Okay? And you see how all gets solved. Instead, if these two pieces these two colors don't match any of these two, we will do the normal algorithm from here. And again, we went from 3 algorithms worst case to 2 algorithms worst case, and normally it will be 1. So we saved 8 moves. And lastly, to orient the corners, we will also save a lot of movements, seeing in which direction we have to turn the corners. So for example, in this case, well, we will start with this case, which is the easy one. So in this case, we have to turn counterclockwise. So we will do the algorithm that we normally do 2 times, and it's correct. But if we went onto this one and did the normal algorithm, we would have to do it 4 times. So what we will do in this case is do the inverse algorithm. So it would be as simple as doing this. And just by doing this, we have saved 8 moves. So you see in the last layer, without learning anything new, just mirroring and inversing some really easy algorithms, we can save a lot of moves, which in the end will save a lot of time. Well, you have seen all the tips that I had to give you. I hope this video has been useful for everyone that has seen it. And as I said in the beginning, I set up a goal in Patreon. So if you want to support me there, if I get to the goal, I start translating all my videos, which is something that I really look forward to. And well, if you share this video, give a like, or just comment that you liked it or something, you will also make me happy. So I hope that this first video in English has been successful. I'm happy I finally did it, and now it's your time to tell me. So thank you for watching it, and see you later.